Finally, a lot of individual and team records were set last year. You became the program's all-time winningest head coach. Stevens defeated, I believe, 3 AMC teams that it had never beaten before, and your squad reached the conference tournament for the first time in program history. With your program continuing to elevate and reach new heights, what are your ultimate goals for 2020?
When you put it that way, the last year, reflecting on it makes it even that much sweeter. Having the year that we had and being, basically, I thought in like year one of kind of like the biggest growth that we were going to see as a program, it was incredible. Obviously, like you mentioned, individual records and, team records and so forth. I think we tied the school record for wins. And then obviously got to play game number 19. I emphasize that to the women every single time that we stepped on the field, like, hey, we're working for game 19, pushing that. Had no idea, honestly, that I was the all-time winningest head coach now at Stevens. I know it's a young history, but that was kind of news to me. So I was kind of like, all right, it makes that year even sweeter. The biggest thing that we're looking at doing is continuing with this kind of momentum and this progress. Obviously, you get the idea that when you're winning, it's a lot easier to recruit because people want to come and be a part of a winning culture. But the thing that we do at Stevens, I think, especially with our soccer program that we do exceptionally well, is that we allow each player to be an individual. We allow them to be who they are. You're not being brought here to be molded into something that you're not. We allow the individuality, and that really creates that family atmosphere, and people feel respected and they feel appreciated while they're here. Which makes the experience that much bigger and better for everybody. Obviously the winning kind of helps everybody because if you're winning, it's a little more fun. I can speak to that in terms of winning a couple of big games this last year. As you alluded to, beating Hannibal LaGrange for the first time, that was a sweet feeling. And then obviously beating Lyon in a do or die game for us for the rest of the season. And then turning around, I think it was about a week later or less, and beating Central Baptist for the first time to clinch that postseason berth. You want to talk about elation for the program and just kind of sitting back and being like, wow, we really did do a lot this last year. We've got to keep building on it though. I look at last year as a heck of an experience and a journey that we traveled and encapsulated all of the hard work that our ladies did and frankly the coaches did in terms of bringing in players that were going to put in that work. Now with the things in place and the class we have coming in, our goal now is get game number 19 again. That's first and foremost. And then expanding on that one. We show up to game 19. Okay. How do we, to the point where we're looking at game 20, game 21? Because, when you're getting to that point, now you're knocking on the door at the national tournament. And I tell our women every year, and it may be high, lofty goals, but I think it's worth dreaming about and worth pursuing is that someone's got to win the national tournament, and why not us? It's got to be somebody. We should put our name on the trophy. Why not, right? So, working on, pushing to that level is going to take time, effort. I know it's not something that happens overnight, but we're certainly one of those teams. It's like we got game 19. There was kind of that taste for the postseason for the first time. I can tell you right now, every single player on that team, plus the ones that weren't, that are coming in, are ready to go get game number 19 again, but to walk away from that game victorious. And it'll be interesting to kind of see how the conference shakes out this year with us losing a couple of members. All I look at that as being, though, for us is a little more opportunity. Though I'll miss competing against those teams and coaches, I look at it as a potential spot for us to now, instead of playing away for game number 19 in the postseason, maybe we're hosting at our house. And that would be a huge deal. And obviously a breath of fresh air for the program in terms of turning things into the culture that we're pushing for. And that's, being competitive with the top teams in our conference and some of the top teams in our region every single year. So I'm excited for the year to come. I'm ready for, normal to return and us to be able to get back in August and, help the ladies move in and hop right to it because it's going to be another really good year. And I just can't admit how excited I am because words just don't do it. It's like, Christmas morning comes in August for me. So I'm looking forward to it, and I know the women are too.
Fully understandable. I want to thank you for joining me on the 5th episode of Speaking with Stars. I hope you and your family continue to stay safe, and I'll see you back on campus along with your squad in a few months.
Yep, to you and yours as well. And all the Stars fans, make sure you come see us this fall.